I don't know about you, but every time I'm looking for D&D inspiration online, I either find articles about inspiration, the in-game mechanic, or I find specific homebrewed monsters, items, stories, charts, and those are great, but they're made for very specific purposes. Where's my open-ended inspiration? The kind that I can use to make my imagination truly run wild, build something unique. Enter medieval-inspired, historical, vintage, or otherwise fantasy art. Today I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite finds lately, show you what I mean, how I pull inspiration from them, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you how I actually found these. This video, by the way, is sponsored by Homebrew Coffee and Company. More about them later. Alright, this first piece is very aptly titled Dragon Resting Its Head on the Lap of a Woman. All of these works, by the way, are credited below. To me, not only is this dragon resting its head on her, but it's looking up at her with loving eyes. Neither is afraid of the other. Its teeth are long, they look dangerous, but she almost looks bored. To me, this is obviously some queen or princess, someone who's at ease with power. This dragon could be a companion or a pet. I can see an adventuring party coming across this pair on their journey along a coastline. There's a ship in the background, so especially if the party needed a ride somewhere, they could come across this woman. They'd probably end up asking her who she is. I mean, this is pretty amazing, just lounging with a quite large dragon. I love a Fey character, so this ride could require an exchange, or the journey could set off a whole other storyline. Maybe this woman is suspicious for some reason, and the party may start to investigate her while on the ship. But when they do, they may find themselves face to face with her dragon, who's wary of their snooping. So it could essentially be like an intelligent, highly dangerous watchdog who's intent on keeping her secret. This next work, Planetesimals, is just so beautiful. First of all, what stands out to me most is the height and faces of these trees. Their roots extend far above the ground, creating beards for these troll-like faces emerging from them. And these faces are clearly sentient, powerful, and I imagine by the way the woman is bowing in the center, full of knowledge and wisdom. I feel like they could even be old gods found deep in some massive Feywild forest. If the party needs long forgotten knowledge, I can see them being told to make a journey to this place to petition the trees for knowledge. To gain that knowledge, maybe they need to be prepared to make a sacrifice or an offering or prove themselves worthy in some way. You know, no one's supposed to know the name of the Queen of Air and Darkness. Maybe it could be a situation like that. They need the name of some powerful entity in order to be able to stop it from doing something. And when the party leaves, I think there's a chance that they become haunted by this experience. The incomprehensible age and ancient magic of this place weighs heavily on them, and maybe as an in-game reward, this could even be a positive experience where everyone's wisdom score increases. For this piece, Goblin and Knight on White Horse, we get another huge figure formed of trees, or so it would seem. The title suggests that this is some sort of goblin, and to me, it's gotta be some sort of ruling goblin or the spirit of one. This forest looks dark, twisted, dead. The goblin could be more of an elemental spirit that embodies the entirety of the forest, so like Mirkwood in Lord of the Rings. The forest feels alive and deadly even when other creatures aren't around. Do you think that surviving this forest would gain this goblin's wrath or respect? Or both? And like, what would it take to escape it? The next few works are from Lily Seika Jones, who I have absolutely fallen in love with this week. This first one is called Waking on Toadstools, and just look at this little dewy unicorn. I don't know if this is gross, but because of the way it looks so damp and little, I almost feel like this toadstool has grown a baby unicorn. A delicate magical process allowed for it to form atop the cap, and it's now waking up to the world around it. For a process like that to occur safely, this would have to be a protected place, anyone who would seek to harm the baby wouldn't be able to have access to it. Of course, this could also just be a very large toadstool where a little unicorn has chosen to take a nap. This is another one from the same artist titled Shelter. Two perspectives on this one. One, we could have yet another gentle dragon, this time sheltering a baby deer and even holding what looks like a light with the claw on the tip of its wing to provide this gentle, comforting glow. I said this before in a previous video, but I love the idea of the Feywild having gentle dragons. It's a place where anything can happen, and I feel like you should subvert some expectations. The relationship between this dragon and deer could feel like the protective relationship between a parent and a child. So to me, the dragon lives here since it looks mossy, like it's part of a swamp. The fawn could have gotten lost and run into the dragon, which was lonely and wanted it as a sweet companion, and maybe the deer is its pet. Or this could be an anglerfish situation, and this little lost fawn thought it found some shelter in the swamp, unaware that it crawled onto a hungry dragon. Its back looks like a stone. This could be a chance for the party to rescue the innocent, help it find its family, or the party could get into a similar situation where they're the ones who crawl onto the belly of a dragon without realizing it. By the way, this video is sponsored. Homebrew Coffee and Company is TTRPG inspired, and all of their coffee is fresh roasted and made to order. I particularly love a package they have where you can rename their roast for your table. So I reached out to my D&D party and we renamed one of their light roasts Pixie Dust, and their darker espresso roast Hag's Eye, which I'm actually drinking right now. If you live in North America and you're interested in some great, really fun brews, you can use my discount code FAY15 for 15% off your coffee order. Thank you to Homebrew Coffee and Company for all your support this month. It has been a great time. Last one by Lily Seika Jones. This one's titled Hydrus. To go back to the Feywild, that is a realm where flora and fauna can come in size large. I'm once again feeling like we're looking at an old god or a wizened wolf that got really big and it roams this vast and largely uninhabited land. Two ideas again. One, a girl has wandered into his marsh and the giant wolf has taken to looking after her, protecting her in this unknown land, though it can't lead her back to where she came from. Or we forget the child, and this is another sacred place. So notice that the fountain down here looks like an owl's head, and there's a ladle by it. So this water could have a magical property to it. The party could be looking for a lost child, and the more important she is, the more likely they are to go this far for her, or they could be looking for some sort of benefit from these waters, or stumble across it by accident. I mean, this is just supposed to be inspiration. What do you think? Okay, if you are unfamiliar with the lore behind Baba Yaga, she is known as the mother of witches, and she famously lives in a hut that walks around on chicken legs. And in this absolutely precious piece, the hut has had baby huts, and they are all milling about in the forest. This one is maybe a little more specific to D&D lore, but I love it. I mean, Baba Yaga is a terrifying figure, and I can just imagine how much it would freak out a party for a mini version of her hut to show up in a forest. It could even have a personality all on its own, like it could be super cute in its behavior, but if you try to interact with it or get too close, it freaks out, it attacks. It could also be a warning that her hut is nearby if this little baby stayed close to home. This one is titled Vodnik, and according to the artist, is inspired by Slavic folklore. This creature will drag unwitting victims below and enslave them, but I can also see it being a fey creature or other humanoid who just spent too long in a jungle-like forest, and it's now merged with the greenery itself and been permanently altered by its surroundings. His skin looks grayish, like he could be made of stone, so maybe this is a statue. There could be a Medusa-like monster in the forest, and this man is a warning sign for the party to be on the lookout. And as soon as the party has investigated and turned their backs, he attacks them or tries to drag one under, or he tries to steal something they have, like a sword. Okay, this one is called Fowl with Pearls, which is a wonderfully accurate title. This bird is regal. fabulous. She knows who she is, and when she got this portrait made, she was not afraid to tell the artist to adjust the shading on her feathers. If she's a pet and not her own woman, she is prized. If the party enters her garden abode, she feels that she has every right to know why they're there and where they think they're going. And if she invites them to tea or luncheon, they will accept her invitation. And they will gossip with her until her curiosity is sated. This one is simply called The Fairy World. We have a dainty fairy girl surfing large waves on fish, maybe flying fish. The caption at the bottom reads, "Driving the others with reins of pink seaweed." This exact image would actually be so delightful for a fae sea voyage. We don't even have to make this like an in-depth storyline or encounter. While on a ship, the party simply witnesses a fairy girl surfing on happy fish with pink reins. That alone is great. It could also indicate that the party's drawing near to their location, or while on the coast, this could be a bit of flavor to tell them something about the local fae. A domain of delight should feel delightful, and an image like this, a little bit of flavor like this, can bring that delight into it. Finally, we have The Two Crowns, which is one of my favorite works of art, D&D inspiration or no. It's the movement and the color that get me. These beautiful pinks and reds with the warmth of the gold, the white horse, the soft greens. For this one, I'm really feeling that this is a king in a fae city. I don't feel like the Feywild should have much in the way of civilization, especially sprawling, bustling civilization, but when it does, it needs to be grand. The courts are decked out, the fae who live there are colorful and eccentric. It's a wild place to be. This would also be a really great setting for conflict. Many fae, including archfae, don't want the Feywild to have civilization, so any number of underlying plots could be occurring here. And with the unpredictable nature of fae inhabitants in general, there are countless opportunities for smaller points of conflict and shenanigans. If you want to find photos like this for yourself, I honestly recommend going on Pinterest and typing in something along the lines of medieval art, medieval fantasy art, vintage fantasy art, anything like that. That's how I found a few of these, and then after that, my Pinterest algorithm just picked up the vibe that I was looking for, and I didn't even have to search for them anymore. We love when an algorithm works in our favor. That is all I have for you today. Let me know what you thought, what your favorite artworks were, what your ideas were, and of course, like and subscribe. I hope you have a great whatever it is, and I will see you next time.